How did you start your career?
I would say, me as an entrepreneur, I'm still learning. I really feel that being punctual is very important.
What challenges did you face while starting your career?
Right now, I'm still navigating different things. So I really don't feel that money is a barrier to basically start something new.
What is the best piece of advice you ever got?
I came out, I started giving my best towards entrepreneurship.
So that they can achieve a success like you. Hey guys, welcome to Career Ki Baatein. मैं हूँ आपका host Ajay. So today we have a special guest, Rewaj Chettri, the founder and CEO of AnyTaxi. In this podcast, shares his incredible insights about ups and downs in his career, and most importantly, how he built and hired an incredible team for his innovative startup. So whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur or looking to change your career, so then this podcast is for you. Don't miss this conversation. So let's start.
Good morning. Thank you for being here, Mr. Rewaj Chettri. Now I would like to ask you, how did you start your career and what motivated you to become an entrepreneur?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me to your podcast, and I think it's always a pleasure to speak to young people. I have a different take on career. I really feel that career is something that you don't bring it to yourself, but it's something you like. I would say, me as an entrepreneur is I'm still learning, right? I haven't built a career out of it, right? And I think when we have that perspective, young people gets basically they get a chance to later identify other things, other avenues as they go, right? So it always doesn't have to be that you're right out of your school or right out of your college and you have to decide what you want to do for your entire life. But I think it may be a year or two you might be into entrepreneurship, but later you realize that your calling is in something different. So I even till today I really don't feel I've started my career, right? My career is yet to start, but I'm still learning. I think this process, like, I don't know when is this going to end, but I really feel that I haven't started my career officially, that okay, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, right? I think that will be my retirement plan. Okay, I'll just do this for the rest of my life, but right now I'm still navigating different things. I have tried different startups. I started when I was 19, when I was in my college, and entrepreneurship gave me that kick that like it's called basically you can't sleep until unless you complete something, right? So entrepreneurship was that for me, and I still today, even till today, I really work hard, right from morning till night, because I enjoy the work I do. So I think career is yet to start for myself.
What were your key skills and experiences that helped you shape your career?
um, I would say that I think firstly I'm open to new things, right? I think young people should always be open to new ideas or new line of new way of living, right? I've always been open to that. I've never kept myself stuck with one idea if it's not working. I've always chose to pivot. I'm not scared of failing from anything in life, right? And I think for me, one of the most important skill that I have is resilience. No matter what comes in front of me, I'll still try to bring the best out of that particular situation, right? And I think for a young person, it doesn't have to be a handy skill that you go somewhere and do a crash course, or you do a certificate course, or you have a particular skill. But I think mostly it's just your mind, right? And how you frame your mind, how you think, how you see a particular situation when it comes in front of you, right? And how can you make the best out of a current situation, right? I think that is something that will go very long with a young person. Other than that, I think I'm not very old, but at the age that I'm in today, I feel that the most important subject in my entire school was moral science. I think honesty is something that will take you very long. I really feel that being punctual is very important. I really feel that being disciplined is very important. And I think if somebody has taken that very seriously, I think they'll go a very long way ahead in their life. And there's no shortcut to hard work. You'll have to work hard to reach somewhere in life. And for me, I just appreciate very common and very easy things if people see, but I think these things are very deep, right? And if they can embed that in their life, I think um, magic happens when you are humble, right? And you, like all those things, I think, like I mentioned just now, moral science. Today, really feel that that was the most important subject in my school. When I was in my college, I always went out and try different ideas, because college is the best time you can. You're at an age where you're looking about what would you do for the rest of your life. At the same time, you're very free. At the same time, you get that ecosystem, your friends. Basically, college is the time when you try out different things, right? Even if you fail, like you still have a degree. So that was my college period. But after I graduated from my college, I've been very seriously working towards entrepreneurship. I came back to Sikkim. I saw how the entrepreneurship ecosystem was. I never thought that I would have 100 and then start giving 10 one. Even when I had two, I thought I'll share one with my fellow entrepreneurs and try to build an ecosystem for entrepreneurs, maybe in smaller ways here and there. But I'm 30 right now and I'm still consistently trying to give back to the society. And I think giving back doesn't have to start when you're 40, 50, or 60, or when you have a lot of money. It's basically, you should always have that idea that we should grow together. We are a developing country and Sikkim is a very small state, and staying together, sticking together, working together. I think collaboration is the way ahead.
Thank you for giving us like so much value over here. And like we can, I guess we can safely say that entrepreneurship for you like evolved over time. It wasn't something that you wanted, but then it just happened and it just gradually evolved, and you are like continuously improvising.
Okay, so like you have started your college this, right? So you have done BSc in Forestry.
Yeah.
So like what made you choose that?
I think when I was out of school,
Mhm.
right, I never had that. Basically, like I wasn't sure what I wanted to become in life, right? And I think
Okay.
a lot of young people are still like it might just be their parents thinking, okay, you should become a doctor and an engineer, right? But you yourself never realize what you want to become. So forestry, to me, I think like it was a choice that like in a small state like Sikkim, the first choice is if you are a bio student, it's MBBS, right? Then it's BDS, then comes different allied courses, right? So forestry was one of them, and according to how good I was then, basically it was a choice that came in front of me. Like it wasn't a choice that I want to become a forester as I go ahead in life, and it just happened. But I'm grateful that with entrepreneurship I know a lot about forest, right? Because I think that is where we all come from, and future is always green, right? So I think it has really helped me to think in a very eco-friendly manner in whatever I do, or basically bring in sustainability into my work, right? So forestry has really helped me to do that.
Okay, so like what challenges did you face like while starting your career?
To think of challenges today, I think I enjoyed everything, but it wasn't a rosy picture. Like I come from a very humble family, and but money to me was never something which I prioritized. Like I mean, to start a business, you really don't need money. Like it's basically your dedication, your idea, your commitment to a particular goal, right? And today, I eventually went from starting myself bootstrap to raising funds in my recent startup. So I really don't feel that money is actually a barrier for to basically start something new. But yeah, like it's a very important factor. But once we prioritize your goal over money, or like for example, I would say that every hurdle that came in front of me was always a challenge, right? And I took it very positively on how I can overcome that and build a business, right? Like to build something from a place like Sikkim, it was very difficult to basically go ahead and build something. But I think every challenge that came in front of me was also an opportunity. So I took it that way head on, and I just kept on going, and that's how I could build something.
Okay, so like how important is continuous learning in your career, like in this particular field of entrepreneurship?
I think learning never ends. Like I mentioned, I have a very strong theory for myself. I always feel that I'm just 1% done, 99% is yet to achieve, right? And I always feel that when I started back in my college, I had the same perspective. I need to keep learning, and even today, as an entrepreneur who has been doing entrepreneurship for a decade, I still feel that I'm still 1% done, 99% is still yet to learn. And I think if we have that attitude, we'll keep learning as things come in front of me. But I think a lot of learning that I have achieved so far, or a lot of skills, knowledge that I have gained so far, it's all on demand, right? Like I don't learn any skill till the time that doesn't demand my work, right? And whenever it demands my work, I'm very much committed to learning a particular work, right? Like I know how to build a website, I know how to build an app, I know how to host a server, I know basically everything that my business requires, right? Like I've learned a lot of things because a lot of time being an entrepreneur, you need to have a lot of set of skills. So I've learned all of that when my work demanded, and it was all on demand learning.
Okay. So like what skills you think it should be there before starting the journey of entrepreneurship or a career?
I think when I started, I really didn't have any skill, but I was a dreamer, right? Like I always say, like I had that insect inside of me, and there was that urge to do something, right? I never thought that what I was doing back then in my college was called entrepreneurship, or I was an entrepreneur. I never had that on my mind, right? Like basically entrepreneurship and entrepreneur is the word I learned very later in my journey. But when I started, I think the only thing a person should have is that a person should be committed. Basically, a person should be self-motivated, right? A person should have continuous learning, like we were talking earlier, right? And nothing beats consistency, right? You have to wake up every morning and keep hustling, whether the day is gloomy or it rains on that particular day, or like if the day is sunny, if you are sick, you can't call a day off, right? You need to keep hustling, and you need to keep pushing every day to make something happen. So consistency is I really feel it's the key to entrepreneurship. Like you can't work for 1 year and think that okay, I'm done, right? You need to keep working every day, every night, right? Till the time I think you live. You need to keep learning, you need to keep working, you need to keep hustling, right? So I really feel that like the journey you take as an entrepreneur is it's very long, right? It can get lonely at times, it can get depressing at times, but if you enjoy the journey, it's really beautiful at the same time, right? It's not easy, but once you enjoy the journey, I think it's just way of life, right? Like I really whenever I speak about entrepreneurship, I really feel that it's not a career option, or it's not a career, but it's a lifestyle, right? You basically start living that, like even tomorrow, even if I have to work for a very big MNC, right? Having an entrepreneurial mindset is on demand, right? Everybody wants a leader, everybody wants a person who has managerial skills, everybody wants a person working for them who has sense of responsibility, right? And all of this, I think, comes with entrepreneurship mindset. So to be an entrepreneur, you need to basically, you just need to make yourself readily available, right? And you need to just keep going. So
Yes, consistency and discipline
Yeah.
should be there to conquer any
Yeah.
whether it's job or it's entrepreneurship, both needed.
What would you advise a person who is in a traditional job and is looking to transition into entrepreneurship, what would be your advice to such person?
Like I have a lot of people working for me. I really know that once you're working for someone, there's always that comfort, right? Like, I mean, the amount of hustling I do, my team will not do, my team will not have equal amount of stake, uh, like in the same journey, right? So, firstly, I think wherever you're working, right? Like if you're working in a traditional business, firstly, try to build that particular business into something, right? So that it gives you that confidence to that, okay, I can do it and I can start something on my own, right? Like help that particular business wherever you are working on, and help them become successful, right? And if you are working on a particular business and if that business is dying, I really don't feel that you'll be motivated enough to go out and do something, and you'll not be confident, right, that you are ready to start something, right? But if you have put your heart and soul in the work you're doing right now, like if that particular business is profitable, growing, right, and you are not compensated according to the growth and the profitability, I think that is the time when you start thinking that, okay, I'm not appreciated enough in this particular workspace, and I think I should go ahead and do something on my own, right? I think that is the right time. Otherwise, if you are working somewhere, if you're working on an idea, if your idea is not working, if that business is not working, there is a very bleak chance that tomorrow you'll be successful, right? I really feel that putting your heart and soul in wherever you are will make you successful, right? Maybe yesterday you were in entrepreneurship, or today you might be working somewhere, or tomorrow again you want to get into entrepreneurship, but your performance really matters, right? Potential is something, but performance is very important to start something.
What are the common mistakes you see on the people making while they are trying to build their careers?
I think a lot of time entrepreneurship, or the entrepreneur word, is a jazz word in India right now. Like it's so fashionable and it's so glamorous. People forget that at the end of the day, if your business is not profitable, you can't keep up, right? My honest advice would be, I think you'll have to go back to basics, right? There is no like, you might be raising money, you might be building a great business, but till the time it's not profitable, there's always a question, right? Like today, raising money is very difficult, like in the current market, right? And profitability is really appreciated. So I really feel that when you're going out building a business, there should be focus. Don't expect work-life balance, right? That is our luxury, right? But when you're starting out, it's 24 into 7, right? You need to work day in and day out every day, right? It's not easy. You need to do 5 people's job, right? And that's how you start, right? Starting out is not very easy. So somebody is planning to start out, I think one needs to be mentally prepared that it's going to fail, right? So there's a very thin chance to be successful in entrepreneurship, but if you are accepting failure, and like if you know that there's a big chance to fail, I think a lot of time what I see is young professional or a young entrepreneur having big vision, goes out. Uh, Everybody wants their business to be successful, but at the same time, you need to have that safety jacket on, right? You need to be mentally prepared that there is a chance to fail, right? And whenever you go out, always know that, like when you are planning to start, right? Always know that there's always a chance to fail. At the same time, uh, the chance of failure is higher than the chance of success, right? So you need to give your best to be successful, but at the same time, mentally be prepared that tomorrow, if something happens, right, you are mentally prepared to settle down. So I really feel that me myself being an entrepreneur who has started multiple ventures are like ideas are like, a lot of time we get very emotionally attached to a particular idea, right, or a particular business. But you should always remember that there's nothing more important than you yourself, right? You can always go out, build a second business tomorrow, till the time you are mentally healthy, and till the time you are, yeah, okay, right? A lot of times, I have seen a lot of young entrepreneur give up their life when things doesn't go their way, right? So it's also very important to know that till the time you are alive, magic can still happen, right? You should always keep that flame going.
Okay. So like when you started at the time, like you were alone, right? But you started building a team. So how challenging it was to build a team?
I think building a team is a very like it's a continuous process, right? Like you don't have a dream team. Like there's always a challenge, right? There are always people coming and going out, right? I think my first person who joined me was not even from my native place, was very much older than me, right? But I think hiring a right person is very important, right? And somebody who is trying to build a team should put maximum effort on correct hiring, right? A lot of time we spend a lot of energy on hiring wrong people, train them for 6 months, and they eventually leave, right? So it takes time. I think there are a lot of things that, for example, when you start hiring, right? The first person you hire and the last person you have hired recently, there will always be a lot of attrition that happens, right, over a period of time. But you should keep learning why people are leaving your organization, how you can make it better, right? On how you can basically support them emotionally, mentally, physically, right? So I really feel that it's a continuous process on how you build a team, but always remember that if a person is leaving, always dare to ask them what is the reason they're leaving your organization, right? So that you can always work on that small changes that they suggest. And I've always tried to implement a lot of value and culture in my organization over a period of time, listening to advices of people who come in and go out.
Okay, so what things you see like when you are hiring a candidate?
Today, I just, like I mentioned earlier, today I just see if the person is punctual, if the person is honest, if the person has that learning behavior, right? Like if I can train that particular person, because whatever they have learned before doesn't really matter to me, right? Because everything in an organization, like we have our own values, the working system, the culture is very different, right? So whenever a person comes in, like if they are a learner, right? If that particular person is honest, punctual, have that moral etiquette. So those are the simple things today I look into when I'm hiring. They having an entrepreneurial mindset or managerial skill is something very handy today. But yeah, like I always see very simple things when I hire a person.
Can you talk about your career setbacks? Like, how did you bounce from your career setbacks?
I think I have given this example a lot of time, but one of my like it was a very early on, and at that particular time it was a big burden to me. I took a bank loan and I started a commercial laundry, and I had no idea on a lot of things then, right? Like I was just starting out. Today, to look back, firstly, whenever a young person takes a loan, like we are basically in so much hurry to get that money, we never go to the bank and negotiate on the interest rate, right? The first mistake I made was, I think interest rate with the bank are always negotiable, right? And you end up saving a lot of money, like if you are patient and if you know that uh, taking the right money at the right interest rate is very important. Secondly, when I started out, I never considered to basically keep a working capital, right? A lot of time what happens is whenever a young person starts up, right, and if it's a plant and machinery kind of setup, if it's a manufacturing setup, they end up putting I think they end up putting lot of money just in building the infrastructure, and they forget that having a working capital is very important, right? I had a commercial laundry. I put like all of my savings, the loan, everything to my laundry, and in 3 months' time, I was out of working capital, right? and there was a I think 90 days Gorkhaland bandh that was happening then. There was no tourists, no business, right? And like keeping your business alive for 3 months when you don't have working capital is very difficult, right? Like it basically stresses you out every day. So wrapping up that business was very difficult to me, right? Like on one hand, I have a loan, I have people working for me, right? I have to pay my EMI, I have to pay my house rent. At the same time, there is no business, right? No working capital, no support system, right? And basically quitting that kind of business very difficult because I can't just go out in the market and ask for people who want to buy a commercial laundry, right? Like it's not like a restaurant which where there will be a second taker very easily, right? So exiting was very difficult. So a lot of time, I think whenever we start out, like it's always very important. And laundry is something I wasn't very passionate about, right? Like it was just that market. There are a lot of hotels coming up in Sikkim, so there'll be a need of laundry. So it's a viable business option, right? But my heart and soul was not there. So for example, AnyTaxi, I started 10 years back and it's still going because my heart and soul is there, right? So it's always important that do business like which is not just profitable or which is not just lucrative, but you should enjoy, right? And I think that is very important in the long run. Otherwise, you just end up jumping from one idea to another. And I have done that a lot of time in my career. But yeah, I think when your heart and soul is in a particular business, then the magic happens.
How do you define success?
I think success is very overrated in our society, right? How we define success is again very overrated. I think success, how people see me today, might be very different. Like some people might see me as a very successful person. There will be a lot of people will not see me as a very successful person at the same time, right? It totally depends on one person to another and their perspective. But for me personally, I really cherish on small successes. Like I don't like my life doesn't demand that I should have big success in my life, but I enjoy if I'm making small breakthroughs, right? And I think for me that little success that I achieve every day has really helped me go long, like in my life, right? Like back in 2018, I think maybe uh, when I was just starting out, right? I was listed in Forbes under 30 Asia. For some people, that would be very like for some people that would mean like the dream success to a lot of people, but because I know that and I have been like on the platform of Forbes and the networking is great, but the glitch and glamour just stays with you for a week, right? After that, you basically are that same person and you have to do the same amount of work. Nothing changes, right? So for me, like I have had a lot of accolades as an entrepreneur in my life, and I personally believe that all of those doesn't matter. Just stay happy, just enjoy the work you do. I think like if you have both of these things, you'll be happy, right? Success is very overrated.
So, what you do to stay focused in your career?
I think focus is like when your heart is in something, right? Only that can keep you focused, right? And if the work you are doing, it's compensating you, right, financially. Like you can't stick to an idea like which just does charity for 10 years, right? It's not possible. The work that you do should compensate you, right? Financially, emotionally, right? Like in terms of success or like in terms of basically tomorrow you should be proud that you have built something, right? And if you have that consistently over a longer period of time, you keep your focus on it, and then you keep building that particular organization, right? So I think like if you have mixes of few things, like you can't like nobody or nothing can keep you stay focused till the time your heart doesn't want that.
Yeah, because like when we continuously doing the same thing from the last 10 years, so the time comes like we start feeling boring or something like that, right?
Yeah, till the time like you're making money, like I don't think you'll feel bored, right? Like you'll be encouraged to work more harder and scale that particular thing, right? So you should always do something which compensates you for the time and the effort you have put in.
Like what industries or career paths will be most relevant for the, if say, coming 5 years?
Like I don't know, I really feel that we will tomorrow end up into very simple things, right? For me, my company, Any Origins, like we are just trying to uh, bring in very simple northeastern products. Like if you go in Amazon, a lot of northeastern products are sold by us, right? And tomorrow, I think like slowly we are getting into organic pulses and spices and like other things which are very simple. Tomorrow, I think eating right will be a luxury. Tomorrow, we'll just be eating the same thing that yesterday we thought that like it was basically outdated or out of fashion, right? Like for example, from the place we come from, right? Like we are going back to millets, right? And millets back then, rice was a luxury, right? And today millet is a luxury. So like it's very simple. Like I mean, we are just heading back to. I think the clock is going back to 12, right? And eating right is one thing. Other than that, I think a sector that will keep growing would be um, sustainable fashion, sustainable goods, eco-friendly, right? Like basically we're heading back to we used to have paper, like a lot of products like which used to come from biodegradable stuff, right? And then we chose plastic as an alternative because we didn't want to cut down trees. But today plastic is a problem and we are happy that okay, we'll use trees and product which are coming from plants and trees so that it'll be eco-friendly, sustainable, right? So I think the clock is going back to 12 and we are going back to basic things.
Like minor career insights. What is the best piece of advice that you ever got in your life?
I think one of the best piece of advice I've got is when I was in my college, right? My uncle used to say that when I was in my school, sorry, my uncle used to say that just do your class 12 board and just give your best in that, right? And your rest of your life is settled. And even today, I think that what my uncle told me at that particular time and the kind of effort that I put in and the kind of person I am today, I think what he meant was just give your best in whatever you do, right? And you'll have the best in your life, right? And I took that advice very seriously in my life. I gave my best in my boards. I came to college, right? I gave my best in entrepreneurship. When I was out of my college, I already had enough money to start on my own. And after I came out, I started giving my best towards entrepreneurship, right? And I think it's just a cycle. Just keep giving your best and doing your best in whatever your heart is into or whatever the work you're putting into, right? Like a lot of time we focus on a lot of things and we get distracted, right? So always try to put your heart into up one particular thing, right? And see what kind of result you get, right? And always give your best. Don't keep the best piece for the don't keep your best idea, the best work for the desert, right? Give your best as soon as you start the meal. So I really feel that don't save it for later. Just go all in and see what kind of result you get.
So though we would like to talk to you more, but we have some time constraint. So thank you very much for joining this podcast. And I hope like the young generation will take the inspiration from you and they will work on their careers and goal so that they can achieve a success like you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. And I wish your podcast a lot of success in days to come. And I hope that whatever you all are trying to do, may that be successful. Thank you.